So apparently Micro Jackson is at it again. I saw this awesome highlight clip of Terran versus Terran a couple of days ago on the StarCraft 2 subreddit. I had to do a little bit of digging to figure out what series it was from, but apparently it's from this Best-of-7 that was recently played between two of my favorite Terran players. So spawning here in the top left-hand corner of Romanticide, we're looking at none other than ByuN's main command center, and his opponent in the opposite corner with the blue SCVs. He goes by the name of Cure. Let's just say that later on in the series, there's some sleek micro coming up. Now, this is a best-of-7, so I've got a feeling that this is going to be a bit of a longer video. So I got myself a little bit of water. I'm ready to go, man. I hope that this is going to be good. Now, right from the get-go, we have ByuN already sending out an SCV, dodging the center of the map. I think it's heading towards what seems to be the other side, right? Where's he going to go? Okay, he's gonna go over here. I think that this is gonna be a second barracks. So the first barracks has already gone up right there on top of the ramp. Second barracks is gonna go up relatively close, I think, to the main base of the Terran player in blue. Now, the reason why these two faced off against each other in a best-of-7 series is because this is the grand finals of the monthly finals of the Olimo League. So the way that the Olimo League works is that the top 8 players from the weekly events then get seeded into a monthly event as well. So it's $250 for the winner of this best-of-7 series, and then $150 for the second place. In case you want to go ahead and support the Olimo League, I'll go ahead and post a link to their Patreon page down below in the description of this video. They have been putting out awesome content, especially when it comes to Korean StarCraft 2 for many years. So I highly recommend you go ahead and have a look if you want to support a tournament directly. Either way, Cure is going to have to deal with very limited amounts of scouting information. Alright, so he sees that there's no command center started up on his opponent's side of the map just yet. He's going to confirm that there is no second gas here either. So at this point, alarm bells should start going off. Reapers are coming up, of course. So ByuN is very well known for his Reaper control. As a matter of fact, once upon a time, as I've said many times before, the man basically got the Reaper nerfed single-handedly. He was so good at controlling those units that they had to nerf them a little bit and make them ever so slightly weaker. That being said, even though Cure doesn't know specifically what's going on, I think he should be able to start up the defense relatively easily here. So look at this, already an SCV. Apparently he's going to be joining in this battle as well shortly. SCV for ByuN is also going to be coming up. Let's see if we can keep this command center up and running for now. So bunker will be built here as well for ByuN. I think that's just to force the hand right now for Cure. That one should never really finish. Nice little bit of control here so far. 2 SCVs end up going down. 1 on each side. Not bad though. I mean, factory is going to finish up here eventually. And once the factory is done, we'll probably be seeing a Hellion as well. Since the command center finishes up on the low ground here, this is basically held for Cure. This is really all he's looking for. Now, sadly, the SCV here that built it... oh my god, he just fell out of the map. Did you see that? At least he got to be fuel, I guess, for the plant. The beautiful, beautiful pink plant. That said, though, I don't think Cure cares too much about that one SCV loss, because right now his command center is done quite a bit before his opponents. So the mule, I mean, you gotta make sure you don't autopilot and land the mule over here. Should just land that in the main base instead. Yeah, he's not landing it yet. I guess he's really wanting to land it over here instead, just so the bases mine out relatively evenly. But this should be held here relatively smoothly for Cure. Alright, in the meantime, on the other side of the map, we did see a command center here as well for ByuN. He's already going to build up the third gas geyser as well. So we'll see what he's got in store for us here going forward. Already, though, yeah, some nice control. So, the Hellions obviously serve a function going forward as well. The Reapers, generally speaking, they lose their value going forward. Oh, already. Ah, nice. Yeah, the Reapers, generally speaking, lose their value going forward. So, you can kind of play those more aggressively, but you want to keep the Hellions alive because they really do add a punch. They really do add a bit of a punch going forward as well. Now, all of a sudden, though, this is not looking so bad. Mules obviously are on a timer. The Reaper over here now is going to pick up its 7th kill as well. Not to be underestimated. I think that even though this was held relatively well earlier on, this is now not looking so bad here for ByuN. Alright, so he ends up scouting exactly what's happening as well. Third CC starts up right away as soon as that Reaper is gone. It's 2 tech labs here so far for Cure. He's going to go for the Banshees and then also straight into that Cyclone production. He could go for a Siege Tank as a follow-up actually, yeah. Very good. Third CC has started up as well for ByuN. You can see he's a little bit later on that, but he does have an additional barracks here for the time being, so Stimpec will be done quite a bit sooner. Raven's going to be coming up here for Cure. The third gas these days is very common. I mean, every time I see a third gas being taken early on, I get excited. Oh, what did I just do? Apparently that's a hotkey to move the production tab over there. Why would I want that? No. Production tab in the top left-hand corner. Anyways, every single time I see a quick third gas geyser, I get excited, and I hope it's battlecruiser openers, but I'm disappointed every time so far. Battlecruiser openers, not very good anymore in this matchup these days because players have gotten very good at defending them. However, obviously, Ravens have a lot of value, so usually you want to grab yourself those gases pretty quickly, even though Cure is a little bit later on his, but you want to grab them pretty quickly just so you can start up that Raven production so they can start accumulating energy. So an explosive start here to this Best-of-7 series, but it looks like we are now gonna get a little bit of breathing room as both players are starting to build up. Now, Cure, as of me making this video, is currently on a team called Dragon Phoenix Gaming, but as far as I could find, ByuN is currently teamless. I have no idea why ByuN is teamless. The only reason I could come up with is that ByuN does have some problems with his wrists. So that's one of the reasons as well why I believe he started up his military duty a couple of years ago. He basically had a lot of wrist pain, and apparently that has come back. So maybe that makes him a bit more unreliable. I am happy to say, though, that he is not playing in nearly as many online tournaments as he was for a couple of months ago. So for a couple of months ago, rather, he really was playing in pretty much everything that was out there. Which was awesome if you're a fan of StarCraft, but if you're a fan of ByuN, I mean, you kind of want him to save his wrists, right? And not completely grind him down to the point where he can't feel his fingers anymore. Which is something that I have heard happen in the past. I believe it was MVP who reported that. He basically, I think it was MVP who requested to not play with headphones on so he could actually, like, hear his clicks. Something ridiculous like that. Either way, Banshee is eventually going to commit after waiting for a long time, but it doesn't really matter. Of course, ByuN already has all of the tools available right there to deal with it. 2 medevacs are currently flying across the map. Cure is very good at that defensive style, though, so I don't think he's going to be too bothered by this. Great missile turret positioning over here. It's going to make it difficult to actually fly into the main base. You can see, even though Cure didn't see the 2 medevacs, he knows the timing at which these medevacs will likely arrive. Missile turret finished up, and now all of a sudden, ByuN is a lot more committed than he was previously. Well, still, a couple SCVs end up going down here. Siege tank actually might get picked off too. That's nice. Auto turrets are forced out as well. One of the medevacs, though, got picked off, and... oh. I was gonna say, it's gonna be hard to retreat if the missile turret is gone, but apparently that one also was targeted. ByuN playing very aggressively so far in this series, and I like it. Cure is that very stoic Terran player. I think stoic is probably the best word to describe it. He will basically just play a very reliable style of Terran, right? Not really a whole lot of gambles, not really a whole lot of risks. Some people would classify that as boring, but it's kind of the way that you succeed in StarCraft, man. He's been getting better and better and better over the last couple of years. Medevac will get sniped over there, and while there's currently 2 siege tanks in the natural, I mean, that command center is still a bit lower from earlier. Ooh. I think that Cure has to commit here pretty soon, man. He's got to be careful. I guess he's waiting until the interference matrix runs out. Breaking these siege tank lines is very difficult. Okay. Oh, another interference matrix does go down. So that's a Raven spell, by the way, in case you're curious. Already, though, one of the siege tanks got picked off, and even though I suggested that Cure should run in there stimming, he decided to be much better at Terran than I am, and he takes it slow. 2 additional medevacs are coming up right now for ByuN. This is one of those moves that will work well against weaker players, but Cure looking strong and stable here so far. Eventually, tanks are going to be able to get destroyed over here, and I think with that the position will be indeed broken. Well, the sensor tower is not going to finish up just yet. Well, it's even going to be shot to pieces. But I mean, right now it's just literally 1 siege tank sitting there. And even though ByuN would love to see his opponent committing, you know, closer to those mineral fields, there really is no reason for Cure to go ahead and do so. 2 Marines inside of a plane. This is the most ByuN move you can find. He's like, yeah, I got 2 Marines inside of a medevac. Let's go, boys. Picks them up again. He's got to go into the main base. Sure. Apparently that medevac is not worth that much money. Honestly, there's a lot of lost mining time right now. It's not so bad. I don't mind it at all. ByuN is going to continue the aggression here for a little while longer. He already has the 4th command center finishing up here on the low ground as well. Another medevac right now. And this is where things get really hectic, right? It's just 2 Marines, but you're gonna be forced to respond to that. And all of a sudden, you're gonna have to deal with 3 different armies rather than just a conventional 2. A lot of SCVs actually get picked off here. The main army, though, right now for ByuN is right here on the left-hand side. There's a lot of siege tanks here for ByuN as well, so he's gonna be able to make short work here of the... well, of the Marines of Cure. I say that. I think he killed more than Cure killed of his, but there's still enough for Cure to hold on. 40 workers actually have gone down here in the first 10 minutes of this series. That's pretty insane. Alright. 2-2 has been started up here by both. Slight advantage, I suppose, for ByuN, but it doesn't really matter too much. The attacking upgrade is far more important than the armor upgrade. It hurts a little bit every single time that I see Terran players starting up the armor upgrade for their infantry first and then the attack upgrade later. It's a small thing, but it really is significant. So that missile turret actually should indeed finish up. So no siege tanks in these medivacs. 1 Marine is moving around. A couple Marines are being sent out on the map as well. These are just spotter units. So basically you send those out just to make sure that you know, even if your opponent decides to commit just barely outside of range right there of the missile, or sorry, of the sensor towers. So it's very common to attack move, you know, just barely outside of the range of that, and then Martin the Marine over here, while sacrificed, should be able to pick up on that intel and report back to home. 3-3 starts up immediately here for ByuN as well. Okay. 4th command center finally finishes up here on the low ground for Cure. He is falling behind a little bit. But, I mean, Terran versus Terran is the one matchup in StarCraft 2. Or one of... it's the easiest example, I suppose. It's one of the matchups where you can indeed come back from a deficit relatively easily because the defender's advantage is so huge. One of the reasons why is because you can have your tanks sieged up. Now, currently, there's actually only 2 tanks at the same time. While we see that army over at the 3rd base, there's also a big drop inside of the natural. There's only 2 tanks here available for Cure. That's really not enough, I don't think. SCVs are going to be able to keep that command center alive. Okay. Good pickups right there of those medevacs. ByuN, though, right now leapfrogging the siege tanks forward one at a time. He started up a 5th command center at the 12 o'clock position as well. So he's continuously macroing here going forward too. Interference matrices come in from the top. So a couple of those siege tanks will indeed be unpowered, but this is looking like a bit of a desperation move right now. There might just barely be enough for Cure to clean this up. Oh my god, did he just clean that up? Wow. Lost a ton of SCVs in the process, but so far we're good. By the way, is this that 1 Marine that was like one of the 2 Marines rather that was inside of the medevacs? I think it was. So cheeky. This was supposed to be the killing move though for ByuN, and Cure is still in this game. One big problem, though, at this point for the player in blue is that he doesn't have those 3-3 upgrades. Right? So very soon, all of a sudden, these Marines here for ByuN are going to find themselves with additional armor and additional damage. I don't know how that works either, but they basically get more powerful. Siege tank production has increased right now as well for Cure. Once again, this is ByuN trying to tighten the noose, but I think this might be a little bit overly ambitious. Alrighty. I love it whenever a series starts up with a macro game. I mean... ByuN, I guess, didn't really want this to be a macro game, judging by his build, but I love it whenever it's forced because it really gives you a good insight in where the current, you know, the current skill levels are. Okay, so the 5th command center actually is a big deal. If it was 4 base versus 4 base, this would be much harder to pull off. Now already, since ByuN is basically maxed out here, he's adding on additional command centers as well. Plus, he's making the switch to watch additional starports with tech labs. One of these days, I'm going to see battle cruisers again, okay? I'm excited for it. Please. Do I have to do my puppy eyes? Please. Please, come on. I just want to see... It's probably going to be Ravens, though. But, you know, one day. Now, here's the siege tank lines. The siege tank lines can be broken right here by these bad boys. So, Liberators are awesome. Because of this one reason, when you have that air lead, you can indeed force your opponent to unsiege. It's very difficult at this point for ByuN to actually commit to this. Well, yeah, this is an overextension here, I think, by ByuN. He decided to stick around here for a while, but he loses more and more units here. Alright, it's gonna be the Corvette reactor upgrade, so that's more Ravens here coming up here for short... Or, coming up here for shortly. Coming up for ByuN here shortly, there you go. When you cast so many games that you start stumbling over your own words. It's basically a little improvement there for the Raven. One of the upgrades we barely ever see in other matchups, but it's quite common in TVT. So the reason why Ravens are very good is because of mainly the interference matrix, but also the anti-armor missile. So the interference matrix, like I already showed you a couple times in this series as well, it can basically disable a siege tank temporarily. And it's very, very powerful. It's one of the ways you can break siege tank lines as well if you don't have that air superiority. Okay. I like this. So these siege tanks are in range of the planetary. Oh my god. Okay, really? Ugh. Poor Marines, dude. He like lamps to the slaughter there. You see that? They just got thrown into the planetary and then also into those siege tank lines. Now that's massive though. Even though a lot of Marines have to be sacrificed to pull this off, apparently the upgrade there got killed. My god. 90 SCVs here. And ByuN is still not killing his opponent. This really shows the strength here of Cure, who has been playing from behind ever since like the 5-minute mark. Many Terran players here would have already crumbled under the pressure that ByuN is throwing them under, but he's holding on. He's looking quite comfortable as well, actually. He's like, yeah, no, it's fine. I can just repair my structures. It's okay. Well, this... Okay. Oh, that's a lot of Marines. I think eventually these tanks will likely get picked off, yeah. But that's still so many Marines going down. And this is not looking better here, right? It's getting worse. So we're currently at 168 dead Marines here for Cure and 159 for ByuN. They're just a means to an end, guys. They're just minerals. It's just, yeah. It's a bit sad, but... Alright. Now, what Cure is trying to do at this point, he's just trying to max out, right? He's trying to max out right here so he can, at the very least, face his opponent head on. He knows that he's got less upgrades than his opponent, and he knows that he's got less bases and workers than his opponent. But if you then manage to max out, obviously that means that your army is going to be much bigger, right? So the army supply counts over here. Even though you might say here that ByuN is easily winning this, it's currently 123 supply in army for Cure versus 114 of ByuN. Plus the defender's advantage. Don't underestimate the player here in blue. Don't get me wrong, ByuN is ahead, but it's not so significant as you might say. Oh, it's the Liberator over here, okay. This is one bad move away, I guess, from flipping is what I'm trying to say. ByuN knows that. But you should see me in these kind of scenarios, okay? I would be very good at messing up. Well, this is awkward. Oh my god. Okay. Well then. I think that may have actually just been the nail in the coffin. Is that the correct saying? I think so. Marines with anti-armor missile on them. They're basically covered in little red paints and they have like a little progress bar above their heads. They get absolutely blown up by siege tanks. That said, Cure does have the superior concave over here. My god, what a slaughterhouse. What a slaughterfest. Here it is. Cure still cleans it up. Insane. Okay. Man, we are off to a good start, aren't we? How many Ravens, by the way, does he have? Only one at this point? He's making 4 at once. I think a bunch of them probably got picked off. Planetary Fortress here in the choke point, which I kind of like. Makes it very difficult to actually get in. Anti-armor missile once again is thrown up on a bunch of those units. But I think Cure is going to be able to commit here. Well, if Cure can actually squeeze out a victory here, that would be insane. He's actually attacking for, like, literally the first time in his game. I mean, there's been a little bit of harassment here and there. But he's not looking so bad right now. He's got 9 siege tanks versus only the 4 of ByuN. ByuN does have Ravens, so if he can disable the tanks here in blue, that's going to be fine. Planetary is going to go down. Orbital Command did not get lifted. Planetaries, of course, cannot be lifted in the first place. A couple of siege tanks over here for ByuN. Ay. They are really low. They're 1 shot away from being picked off. Good moves here by Cure. Yep, they're going to be picked off. Like, we are literally only at 4 tanks right now here for ByuN. That's not so much. If ByuN decides to go for a counterattack, I mean, that could work out, but that makes it a bit of a gamble. A bit of a gamble. Okay. Cure is trying to cut off this base. After cutting that one off, you can easily kill the base here to the left of this location as well. The Ravens, though, are accumulating energy. Once the Ravens have enough energy, they can literally disable all of the attacking units over here. And since ByuN does still have the air superiority, yeah, he's going to be able to go Liberators here and force this Terran player in blue to unsiege. At the same time, ooh. There are siege tanks here, but they're not sieged up currently. Planetary Force is once again going to help out as well. That one already picked up 9 kills. No planetary here on the right. Okay, I think this is the old main base. Yeah, it is. Very, very careful here, though, ByuN. These Marines are one shot away from dying. Orbital will get picked off. Okay. At the same time, the Terran army in blue is sieging up on the left. That planetary is gone. That orbital is going to be picked off as well. Another orbital command, I think, may very well get destroyed here, too. Cure could have, but he wanted to be close to his siege tanks. Liberators once again moving forward. The one Liberator. You don't need that many. Forcing Cure to unsiege from this position. Okay. Top right-hand corner base will be acquired here. Cure has been playing with 50 supply behind for quite some time. I don't know how he still is in the game, but he's doing a phenomenal job. The thing is, we have full vision of this, right? ByuN really doesn't know exactly the situation that his opponent is in. Well, he knows that if he disables the tanks, though, breaking this position is pretty easy. I still think he's gonna be able to obtain the victory, but Cure is looking dangerous. It's a lot of Marines, man. Alright, there it is. GG is cold. ByuN indeed wins game number 1, but my god. 570-ish Marines got killed in this one game. Alrighty, so map 2 is going to be a light shade. So this one does have a bit of a shorter rush distance. Certainly opens up the opportunity to get aggressive if you really want to once again. And this time around, would you look at that? It's gonna be Mr. Cure, who's sending out an SCV already. Okay, let's go. Now, by the way, I was just looking at the lists of different nicknames that ByuN has played under, right, over the years. And one of these is not like the other. Maybe 2 of these. It depends on how much of a 12-year-old you are. First off, ByuN used to play apparently under the name Bleach. Secondly, D-Dong. Third, Ghost King Prime. Fourth, Puppy King. Fifth, Speak Now. And the last one I wasn't familiar with either. For some reason, ByuN played under the name Excrement. It's a cool sounding word, but I don't know if he... I don't know if something got lost in translation, okay? Because it does sound like excrement. It sounds like a badass word. Kind of sounds like exterminate, right? But the meaning is, well, it's actually not that far off, I guess, but... I don't know. I've never seen him play a game under that nickname, but it's a bit of a curious one. Let's just leave it at that. Either way, Cure apparently feels inspired by the cheekiness. No barracks at home for him, though, so he's gonna start planting the two barracks here on the other side of the map right away. ByuN decides to skip SCV scouting altogether, which he's been doing actually recently, although he did go for the second gas geyser already, so he'll probably go here into a very quick factory shortly, which is clever. This is just a safe build. If this would be a command center on the low ground after the barracks, this could be a disaster, but I think this should be okay. Probably just something to, you know, macro up with. Okay. Reaper number 1 is done. He's already floating, wasting fuel, but it's okay. They can float indefinitely, okay? Terran structures and Terran units are magical like that. They don't need to apparently run with any fuel. Now, ByuN over here. Okay. Alright. That was pretty good. Figured out what's going on. Factory's gonna be able to start producing a heli in here very shortly. Cure was planning on saving up a little bit. He finds out right now that there is no command center on the low ground, so he'll probably have to macro his way out of this here. Don't think he expects that he can win with this, but still wants to get maximum damage done. Oh, yeah, you're not ByuN, man. You're just not. Even if you're Cure, who's like literally like the 3rd highest ranked player or something in the world. Okay, maybe not 3rd, but he's definitely top 10, right? That micro is still... Yeah, ByuN's micro is still superior. Kind of insane, isn't it? ByuN is definitely one of those players, like if you were to cover up the nicknames, right, and you didn't tell me who was playing what, I think I could still pick him up or make out who it is relatively easily. Makes you wonder, though, why he isn't sitting at the tippity top of the skill level. So, I mean, Cure is very good at just decision-making, right? And being at the right place at the right time and making sure he doesn't get accidentally overwhelmed or splits off too many units to defend one part. Like, he's very good at just the strategic approach in the game, Whereas ByuN is, like, a lot more flexible, it feels like, right? He's capable of doing a lot with the units that he's got. Alright, anyways. Speaking of units, just some good old one base shenanigans here by both of these. Cure, though, does have the minerals right now, so there it is. Command Center starts up. Yeah, Cure is a lot more rigid. I think rigid, or like stoic or something is the best word. One barracks here. Do you think there's a pilot in that thing? I don't know. Anyways, one barracks over here is being sacrificed. I don't know if there's a pilot inside of the barracks. Are these remote controlled? Is there like someone currently sitting inside of the command center or something who's got like a remote controller? That'd be sick. I want to be that guy. Either that or there's a dude in that flying that thing right now. That would kind of suck. It's gonna be the cloaking field upgrade here as well for ByuN, who started up his own command center too. Okay, all right, I don't mind it. Good grenading over here. Couple of Marines end up getting picked off. Third gases once more, very early. So there will probably be a Raven here coming up shortly too for Cure. Here's the Banshee though. Banshee does have cloak. Well, finishing up in about 5 seconds. All of a sudden there's a button that appears on the dashboard. He's like, wait a second, what happens if I press that? And there we go. Now, how much damage can he do? Cure, that is. Or sorry, ByuN, that is. Raven only just now starts up. Ugh, man, this is becoming a massive problem. A scan here is gonna confirm the exact location, but that is already 9 SCVs. 9 SCVs is too much. That one base shenanigans, it allows you to get those upgrades out really quickly. 9 SCVs is basically lethal, right? All ByuN really needs to do right now is just go for an attack. Either a timing attack or just what ByuN likes to do, I guess, is send his unit straight across. He knows that there might still be some Reapers out there somewhere, so make sure here that the Hellions move in from a different direction. Here's another Banshee, by the way. This time around there should be a Raven, but... Oh, he's actually trying to kill the... Okay. Alright. Oh, gets it. Alright. He's trying to kill the Cyclone there. This must set alarm bells off inside of Cure's head as well, though, right away again. It's like, wait a second, if you're targeting that instead of workers, you must have units coming across here very shortly as well. Is there gonna be enough right now for Cure to defend and hold on? The auto turrets does not, or the auto turret rather does not mess around. Good splits right here as well on the Reapers. Good scan there, confirms the position of the Cyclone, but ByuN loses everything. Similar scenario, though, as in the previous game, right? Like, right now, once again, we're seeing ByuN sitting at, like, you know, 12-ish more workers than his opponent. It's a good amount. It allows him to get the third base faster. It allows him to basically be in the driver's seat of this game. And while Cure is very good at the navigating part, right? Like, it's like one of those rally cars. Cure is currently holding the map, telling you to turn right and turn left. He's really good at that, too. I do feel like it's the inferior seat, okay? Someone's probably going to disagree with me in the comment section down below, but I want to be driving that car. That seems like way more fun. Now you still have to trust, I guess. The fact that the guy isn't gonna crash. Oh, fresh mule. Oh, God. Fresh mule gets killed as well. Mule's mined for about 300 something minerals. Or like 250 to 300, it depends, but this is... Stop hitting him, ByuN! What did he ever do to you, man? 17 workers. We have seen an absurd amount of... Oh, God. Like, see... Target firing the low HP, it makes so much sense, but it's so hard to actually do while you're also trying to, like, you know, build things and stuff. I wonder if at some point, right, we're gonna see, like, the perfect amalgamation of a StarCraft pro gamer. Where you're gonna watch them and they have, like, near impeccable macro, but also micro. We've seen near impeccable macro multiple times before in the past. I guess, technically speaking, macro is easier than micro. Because micro is a lot more about feeling and game sense, I suppose. I wonder if at some point we're gonna get, like, someone who's gonna stick head and shoulders above the rest. For a while there, it seemed like Serral was that person. Don't get me wrong, Serral's ridiculously good. But he looks more mortal now. I don't know if that's because everyone else has gotten a little bit closer, or because Zerk has gotten a little bit weaker, or because Terran... Or, sorry, Serral's gotten a little bit weaker. I don't think it's that last one. But, yeah. ByuN does have that potential. I don't really know exactly what he's currently missing in his gameplay. Maybe he YOLOs a little bit too much, but maybe that's one of the reasons as well why he's so much fun to watch. What you gotta keep in mind, right, is that ByuN only returned to StarCraft 2 a couple months ago. It's not been that long. So give him another year, right? And we'll see, like, assuming his wrist hold out, we'll see what things are gonna be like. Especially with the way that Terran seems to be dominating recently. At least in tournaments in round of 8s and stuff. In Korea, I think they had, what was it? Like the GSL Super Tournament was like 5 Terrans in the round of 8. Interestingly enough, the grand finals was a Zerg versus Protoss, if I recall correctly. We don't talk about that. Anyways, I think it was the Super Tournament. I may have... maybe I'm getting the name wrong. Either way, here's the aggression comment from Cure. Has been behind economically right now. Oh, apparently ByuN knows the number that he needs. So the number, for those of you wondering, is 6. 6 Vikings is what you need to one-shot Medivacs. That, I'm sure, is not an accident. You probably got 6 specifically just for that task. They were patrolling back and forth over here together with the missile turrets. They're basically preventing drops from entering the main base. 2-2 has started up significantly before Cure's, right? So Cure can go into +2 attacks, I guess. Wait, is this... Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. If that's his very first upgrade, that would really be bad, but... Yeah, so once again, we are at a stage in the game where ByuN is just simply slightly ahead. In every way. Yeah. See, this is a desperation move. So ByuN was at the same time pushing his opponent's natural. He just decides to tap out. He realizes, okay, I'm behind in army. I'm behind in economy. I'm behind in upgrades. Like, what do I have? It's not gonna happen. GG. Alrighty. Now, remember what I brought up earlier on into this video at the very beginning? That there was this sexy highlight clip on the StarCraft subreddit? It's this map. It's on Oxide. I don't really know exactly at what point, but I watched it like 3 times just because it was pretty. It was really, really pretty. You'll see. By the end of this map, you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's see what ends up going down here. So Cure once again decides to get a little bit cheeky. So I've seen him do this build where he like builds a bunch of barracks and then floats them over to his opponent's main base and then starts producing marauders, right? We've seen that build in a previous series as well. This has to be that, right? I don't know if you take a second gas with that as well. I'm not sure exactly on the timings. Yeah, Cure is already cutting SCVs though. Just try and get this done. I think that has to be this. So I'm pretty sure what he's going to do is lift up these barracks and then float them over there. And since it's going to be inside of the fog of war, ByuN might not actually pick up on this. Especially considering ByuN did not send an SCV scout in the previous game. Right? So, I mean, he could make a loop around his own main base. He's going to check behind his natural expansion. Okay. Is he going to send an SCV around here? I mean, assuming Cure is going to lift up these things. Yeah, okay. So I think what he's going to do is build... Yeah, indeed. A couple of tech labs over there. And he's trying to create like a little bit of space over here as well for the marauders to fall back to. I hope ByuN... Oh god. I hope Cure knows the exact location though where this has to go. Oh my god, ByuN. Alright. That was very pretty. Apparently Cure still commits though. So he sent it out at like 1:45 apparently. I think he just judges that by the in-game clock. He's like, okay, this is when that thing should go up in my base if he wants to go for it. Very cool. Oh, yeah. If you prevent this thing from landing... Oh, come on, ByuN. You could have prevented that one from landing. Anyways, if you can prevent it from landing, this tech lab is never going to start up. Tech labs do build pretty quickly. Marauders with concussive shells are going to be the name of the game here for Cure. Command center on the low ground, though, should finish up here. You need a lot of damage. Now, good rallying actually there as well by Cure. I really like that. So it turns out you can rally on top of a unit like that, and it will start attacking right away. The problem is, even though only a handful of SCVs can attack this at once, it will go down eventually. Another Reaper here. Bunker's gonna finish up as well, and that bunker is phenomenal. This is clean, man. Like, very clean by ByuN. I'm super impressed with him so far in this series. Looks much better than his opponent. Well, still. The problem is, right, all these early game units, like Marines and like Hellions and like Reapers, they just don't do that well against Marauders. Did he actually kill the barracks? Oh yeah, I didn't even pick up on that, but sure. So I think at this point, Cure is just trying to deal maximum amounts of damage. Yeah, just try and get some work done. He's actually killed a, yeah, he's killed a reasonable amount of workers here, all things considered. Second orbital commando is gonna finish up, right? And there's only a 6 worker difference. I don't know what the exact number is on SCVs, 2 mules, but I think it's like 6-1 or something. Maybe, maybe even more. So even though the economical advantage right now seems to be in favor here of Cure, just having that second orbital command done essentially allows you to, yeah, feel pretty good. Okay, so let's see. All of this will be killed here eventually. The piggy bank bunker will also be... ooh, is that why he made a Hellion? Okay, I assumed he was gonna make a Hellion there to try and deal with the... with the Marauders. But that guy was just trying to delay the command center here that he probably knew he would find on the other side of the map. Yeah. That is so cheeky. Sorry, Mr. SCV. Is he gonna leave again and try and pull the same trick once more? That would be so dumb. Please go back in. Ah, I would love to see it again. This time around there's a Cyclone though, so I guess it's not gonna happen. Okay, so Stoppard as a follow-up here from ByuN. Same time on the other side of the map, we see additional barracks coming up. You know what? Lock on, lock on, lock on. Very close. Delaying this base actually is a big deal. Scan over here confirms the position of the Cyclone. Good control there by ByuN. Banshee has a follow-up here as well from Cure, who's now finally going to be able to start producing a reasonable amount of units. Siege tank though. Do you really want to commit to this? I guess so, huh? Yeah, if you can get on top of it, it's fine. Siege tanks have a minimum firing range. Now, good... Oh! Good repair there by Cure initially, but... Banshee is out, but the Cyclone is going to continue going. And look at the control here so far by ByuN, right? Absolutely insane. Okay. He was gonna go for a tech lab apparently, but I canceled it and decided to go for a Viking. Okay. I think this is the moment, guys. I think this is the micro that I was talking about. I think it's this. I think it's this. Okay. Here we go. Marines drop outside of that medevac just to try and see if they can potentially kill the Banshee. No scan over there, though. ByuN is entering his opponent's natural. Gets the siege tank up in a good position. Cancels his opponent's lock-on by getting the Cyclone into the mix. Banshee decided to return once again. Not quite gonna happen. Once again, picks up the weakened units. Siege tank is gonna continue firing. Marines are going to be able to join the fray here as well for Cure. There's still that Cyclone on the right. Good control here once again by ByuN. Good splits as well though by Cure, trying to mitigate as much of that damage as possible. Siege tank sadly gets picked off. Cyclone though stays alive. This Cyclone now has 7 kills. If he would have kept that siege tank alive, I guess it would have been even better. But I mean, there's some time before you can unsiege, right? And I don't know if you could do that perfectly. But yeah, this whole game, it was just Micro Jackson in full force. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Ow! You know what? If all like 50 to 100,000 or so of you were sitting in front of me while casting these games, I would probably get a little more uncomfortable. Maybe I'm getting too comfortable in these videos. What I'm trying to say, though, is that Micro Jackson is at it once again. All right? 100,000... Actually, it's actually insane, though. So a lot of these ByuN videos, especially, have been going up to like 100,000 videos. They're like going to the moon, you know? Kind of like GameStop. No, but seriously, like, that's like 2 stadiums full. Like, that's insane. That's so many people. So, hey, thanks. Like you sitting in your chair or laying in bed or whatever. Maybe you were secretly watching this video at night, trying to fall asleep. Should have put headphones on before I started singing. I apologize. That's your fault though, don't blame me. But seriously, thank you. I appreciate you. Let's see though what we're gonna have in this particular game. So, it doesn't happen often in a best-of-7 series that someone can climb back. So Cure right now has to win 4 games in a row in order to obtain a victory in this best-of-7. Very uncommon, not something we see too often, although it's happened multiple times before in the past in StarCraft 2. Momentum is a real thing, right? So even though Cure technically has to win 4 games in a row, I feel like every single time, I don't know, I have nothing to back this up, but this is just a feeling, a hunch of mine. Every single time someone is 3-0 behind, and they have to win 4 games in a row to win, usually if they win 2 games in a row, momentum carries them through the 2 games after that. So it feels to me like if someone's 3-0 behind and then manages to bring it back 3-2, usually they end up winning the series. I think. I don't know. I've got nothing to back this up, but I've got that feeling. Because momentum is a very, very real thing. Either way, Cure decides to not cut any corners in this game. So this is the safest way to open, right? No SCV scout. Even the Reaper over here has got to check around just to make sure that there's no shenanigans going on. This is the safest way to open to make sure you don't die to stupid stuff. The problem with this build, though, is that ByuN is playing normal, right? So ByuN decided to go for the barracks, into the command center on the low ground. Reaper decided to check his side of the map as well. This guy's playing normal. The problem is that right now in a standard game, with Cure basically making sure he's safe against everything, he falls behind against the standard economical opener, right? So if you don't cut any corners, you basically find yourself behind. Which is why, like, you find yourself behind if you know, your opponent is opening up. Well, you get what I'm trying to say. It's a little dicey. So I like what Cure is doing here, but I also, yeah. Got a bit of a love-hate relationship with this start here from the South Korean Terran player in blue. Because South Korean Terran player wouldn't really... Man, these casts are spidering out of control. But South Korean Terran players wouldn't really signal anything. Now, this is a cute little move. I've seen actually someone ask in the comment section below, why did I do that? So every once in a while, right? I don't know what the exact timing on the mule is. But basically, if you throw the mule on the short buy mineral patch, every once in a while, if it's like perfectly timed, it will die on its way back after mining resources while returning to the command center. Now, I'm pretty sure this is like mineral laundering or something along those lines, because if the mule dies while on its return trip, those minerals disappear. Okay? Try and explain that to your tax auditor. I don't understand how it works either, but those minerals are just gone, right? So, since, like, mules mine a lot, right? I don't know exactly how much they do per trip, but they do a lot. Losing all of that would really suck, and it really does hurt a little bit. So, if you have the APM available, like we always see in the earlier parts of the game, yeah, just throwing the mule off of the mineral patch temporarily is not so bad an idea. Now, 2 medevacs pass each other in the night. Luckily here, the medevac pilots have those the same thing the horses have, like the blinders on the side of their dashboard or something. I don't know how it works either, but they can't see each other even though they were pretty close. Medevac is going to be joined up with a bunch of other units here very shortly. ByuN brought a Widow Mine as well to this party. Already though, a siege tank is going up inside of the main base of ByuN. Oh, this is an awkward scenario right now. Is there going to be enough actually for ByuN to clean this up? This siege tank over here is a bit of a gamble, but I think it's okay. That's going to be a lot of dead SCVs, but the same can be said right now on the other side of the map as well. ByuN decided to pull all of the boys. He's trying to make sure that siege tank can't fire. Oh, Hellion. Oh, it's got 1 HP. You gotta kill that. Okay, it does go down. But this is so many freaking kills right now. Oh, well, Widow Mine, not in the correct spot. I think that this is okay here for Cure, right? Yeah, it's very good actually for Cure. This will eventually be thrown away. Ooh, if you can kill the medevac. Oh, yep. Nicely done there by Cure. Well, he also ended up losing the siege tank on the other side. But this is still a good position, I think, right now for the blue player. Yeah. It was better when that siege tank was still alive. Both players ended up losing more there, I think, than they wanted to. Do you think these guys are human? Is that why we saw small errors there from both? No. 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 Listen to me. Considering these guys human, that's insane. Okay. So where are we going from here? Cure once again loads up a couple units. Ravens apparently are chasing each other as well. This is a weird mating ritual that we don't see all too often, but this is where baby ravens come from. That's why they're named after birds. We need David Attenborough to, like, narrate these games. The blue raven looking for... No, I'm not even gonna try. No, Dude, that was terrible. That was a terrible, terrible impression. Nah, I'm not gonna be able to do that. Anyways, what I was trying to say, the blue raven there, clearly looking for a mate. Sadly got blown back. It's not gonna happen. The red raven hit right here on the top section of the map. It's gonna move in from the left into the natural. Siege tank, though, is in position. This shouldn't really deal too much damage. Targets the mule there, but good response good response time right there by Cure. Matter of fact, really wanted to go into the base as well, but you can see a similar setup here. ByuN's got a siege tank over there. It's just barely touching the edge right there of the base. It's just not going to be able to deal that much damage. Oh, okay. Interference matrix does not land in time. So ByuN right there grabs another kill right there on a cyclone. He's been killing a lot of cyclones actually with banshees in this series. Not something we normally see. Usually it's the other way around, but I like it. Third command center come up, or did come up. Third CC here as well for ByuN. So relatively even game here. Even though I think Cure put himself behind there in the earlier stages. He certainly is doing much better now. Now actually killing this, oof, it's a big hit. Stimpack gets denied here. So Cure just prevented this red army from having Stimpack, which is absolutely massive. Raven over here is gonna give the detection as well that's needed, but the Banshee still managed to slip away. There's 2 tanks already in the natural. This is a lot of damage once again that's being done, by the way. Cure is gonna be able to kill a ton of these SCVs. At the same time, ByuN is setting himself up for an engagement over here, but he just blocked himself. I don't think Marines can actually go through this, right? There's plenty of interference matrices available as well here for Cure. I think this should be very defendable, especially since those units don't have Stimpack. That's a ton. Oh my god. Yeah, that's too many SCVs, right? That's too many SCVs. At the same time, okay, I didn't even get it on camera. At the same time, Cure decided to move forward. Must have used those interference matrices, and the siege tanks for ByuN are gone. Still though, a lot of SCV... Wait, hold up. Can we back off for just a sec? So, I don't think he's got... No, he doesn't have enough energy. Oh, okay. So, Cure decides to pull the boys. Oh, man. I feel like waiting for energy makes so much more sense. Ooh, okay. I was gonna say, all of a sudden, the work accounts there weren't looking so healthy anymore for Cure. I was thinking that he was gonna clean it up with a interference matrix, but it's a pretty expensive spell. Banshee over here finally gets killed too, or get killed off as well, but that's a... Man, we've seen a lot of workers go down this series. Okay. So now actually things are not looking so so amazing for Cure. Well, I think he's still at a slight advantage, but it's really not that significant. We're once again setting ourselves up for a nice little macro game here. Okay, let's have a look. Siege tank count in these small battles is not to be underestimated. So actually, you know what? I wasn't quite paying attention to that exact number. Ooh, unless he's gonna give away a bunch of ravens for free. Siege tank numbers are not to be underestimated. So it's right now 4-2. I'm no math major, but I can tell you that number 4 is better than 2. Well, it depends on the scenario. When it comes to siege tanks, certainly.
Command center upgrade complete.
Okay. 2 medevacs snuck out. Brave move once again by ByuN. Not scared to go for a base race. With the 3rd command center not landed yet, I guess he feels confident enough not doing so. Right? Like, not leaving all of his units at home. Cure may very well decide to try and take his expo here pretty soon, though, because he's got a pretty good map scenario. Now, this is also nice! Yep. Gets one of the medevacs. Should be able to get the 2nd medevac as well with some good micro. This is forcing all of the units in blue once again to rally back home. But, okay. Well, that's Maybe a little bit preemptive? Yeah, I think that's a little bit preemptive. I mean, ByuN would probably lose to the counterattack. He was probably not feeling comfortable anymore after that early game, but maybe a little bit early. So after the beauty that was the game on Oxide, we had that previous map, huh? I guess it's just a little bit of contrast. It happens, guys. It's hard to appreciate the sunshine when you don't have rain every once in a while, or something like that. I don't know. Someone can probably make something more profound than that, but long story short, every once in a while, especially in long series, those kind of games just sort of happen. Used to be a lot more common, actually, the pro gamers just tapped out really early. So, what exactly does Cure have in mind right here for this one SCV that we saw leaving the main base? We gotta make a barracks over here. The first one. Curious spot. Let's try to make a trap right here, I guess, for his opponent. What was the quote? What's the quote again from Darkest Dungeon? Curious is the trap maker's art. His own efficacy unwitnessed by his own eyes. I think that's it. Well, I think Cure is going to be able to witness it, but this is still a bit of a... That's my feeling when it comes to this game. He's once more going to... Okay, so he'll probably proxy the factory then as well, I assume? Maybe not, actually. He doesn't need to. He's going to go double... double gas. This time around here for ByuN. Ooh, this is not good for Cure. This is actually really bad for Cure. Cure is proxying one barracks, but ByuN is making 2 barracks at home. We've gone full circle. 200 IQ, 5 head place. Okay, there you go. Okay, it's just gonna be a tech lab. So I think he's still gonna go... Yeah, I'm not sure. I think this has to be a factory as well, right? Are you not gonna go factory? So it's gonna be one Marauder. No. He's gonna go for one Marauder. So I guess the factory will finish the wall off at home here eventually. The problem is, ByuN is going for Reapers. And if you are proxying a Marauder over here, first off, this is like kind of questionable in the first place. I don't know. But secondly, how are you gonna ever defend your home? I feel like this is Cure crossing his fingers, hoping there's a command center on the low ground here, but I'm not entirely sure. Maybe he'll prove me wrong, though. So here's the first Reaper going across. He's gonna find out about the factory. Well, it's not going to find out. It doesn't care about the factory. The thing is, yeah, ByuN doesn't have a second command center. So, I guess this can deal some damage, but it's gonna need to kill a lot of stuff in order to make this worthwhile. We have the strangest base race happening right now. 2 Marauders versus 3 Reapers. There's no mass recall or anything in this game. SCVs get pulled off the line, okay. Reapers are gonna be inside of the main base right here. Oh my god, really? So the thing is, how is this ever gonna work out? How is this ever gonna go well for the player in blue? I guess he's killing a lot of SCVs here in the process as well. Those Marauders actually are packing a punch. It's just that he's gonna lose everything at home. And I think eventually Cure is gonna be able, or sorry, ByuN is gonna be able to get enough units out as well to deal with this. Well, actually, you know what? Hold that thought. Because both players are so busy microing over here, it's impossible to look at 2 screens at once. Tons of SCVs are being picked off, actually. Oh my god, what a weird base race. I guess a Hellion, it's gonna help out. Should you not complete the wall off over here, though? Siege tank is coming up. Actually, yeah, siege... Okay, siege tank is... Yeah, okay. No, I think my analysis was correct, although this is a scenario that we haven't seen before. Cure literally sitting at a single worker. He decides to tap out of the game. And with that, ByuN obtains the victory in this best-of-7 series in a 4-1 fashion. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you did, I mean, do me a favor. If you made it all the way until the end of this video, hit the like button down below. If you really enjoyed it, hit that subscribe button as well so you get notified as soon as future videos go live. And today I also want to give a special shout out to the Patreon supporters. Thank you for directly supporting the channel. Anyways, for now, I want to thank you for watching. Have an awesome day. Don't forget to smile, alright? And I will see you once again in the next one.